Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bulley. I'm the current caretaker down at Roelands village there. My presentation, I'm actually really honoured to be able to come up on behalf of the committee members down there and the elders down there where I work. First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge the Whadjuk traditional custodians of this country which I'm presenting on, and also the Wadandi people down on the country where I work down at Roelands there. And also acknowledging the Roelands mission children that came through Roelands, acknowledging them and their history and their story as well. So my presentation, I work with a lot of at-risk youth down at Roelands there, and all of our programs are structured around Landcare outcomes. Like Bruce was saying, the biggest resource is hands and volunteers, and getting the kids out there on country, working on country, being interactive with country, and like Oral was saying this morning, listening to what country has to say to you as an individual. So this is all the committee members, what they want to try and achieve for Roelands Village, is creating a safe and interactive place for kids and families and the greater community for generations to come. Roelands was set up as an agricultural farm, where children were placed there and taken away from home and placed on a working farm. They had livestock, cattle, sheep, and citrus farms as well. There's grapefruit, oranges, mandarins, which is all made off of the back of the children that were taken from home and placed into Roelands. So what the committee members have decided to do for the community is turn it around into a place of healing and into a place of identity. So getting the youth of the generation now out on country, listening to the elders' stories, listening to country, speaking to them, and being a part of that whole healing process. So the property itself was pretty heavily farmed, a lot of trees ripped out, a lot of water runoff.
As a mission, Roelands started about 1940 and went through to 1975, and it was called the Roelands Native Mission. The old bloke who owned it, he made it available to local Aboriginal families, because at those times Aboriginal people weren't allowed into town without any legal right being there, and more Aboriginal people were being pushed out. So he made this place available. It was home to around about 600 odd kids went through here. I always try to give a balanced view about this place in terms of life experience growing up as a child. Went from those who were fond of this place and called it home, and still call it home today, and look forward to coming back to the other end of the scale, where those are very, very traumatised still to this day. Not one story to be told out of Roelands. What we try our best to do as a group is to respect everybody's story. Well, we run a lot of training programs out here, and there's a lot of interest in this place. Like with all our young trainees through a respect training program we did, and that was around life skills and work readiness skills, and there's some really good outcomes with that. Future plans for this place is, and this is all around the governing committee, who wants this place to be very highly active and interactive, so lots of visitors and so on. So we've gone through a lot of the work now doing the renovation with the Indigenous Land Corporation, so we're forever grateful of what the ILC did in terms of getting this place and supporting us. So that's the main thing. That'll be the stuff that'll keep this place going, operational. Then we want to look at where we can extend out. So food production, and we're starting small. We already got some bush tucker where we've got wattle trees up the back, where we're going to be collecting wattle seed. This year we'll have our first harvest off these trees, and we've got heaps of other bush tucker that we'll be planting as well. But we also want to get into large-scale food production. Some of our young people doing tours, and that includes tours of the village, but also tours out in our close vicinity around the southwest region here. I could see operating level, there'd be as many as 50 people employed out here in the hospitality, tourism, food production, managing the farms, maintenance, and of course us elders telling our story. A lot of opportunities. We see this place as a place of opportunity.
So those two elders there, Uncle Sid Jackson and Uncle Les Wallen, who's now CEO of the Aboriginal Corporation managing it, are supporting all the community groups to be able to come on board with Roelands and be able to support what we're doing with our youth down there at Roelands Village. I'm part of the Respect team. We've held 3 Respect programs in the past with Outback Academy, who's our partner. We partnered with them in 2013 to come on board and help us utilise the space out at Roelands there to help engage with youth at risk, set up viable community businesses. And this young man just here, Ashley Farrell, he'll be coming out to Roelands in a couple of weeks to be able to work with our current Respect students. They're aged from 15 through to 18. And this is our program outline. We're 2 months into a 6-month program. And these are some of our students, at-risk students the cops were quite shocked when they come out to Roelands. They saw these boys making coffees for a corporate event that we had, and they said, I bet you didn't realise that one day you'd be making me coffee, did you? And they said no. And so the project that we are working on with our Respect students is the Memorial Garden, which is in memorial of the children that came through Roelands. And that's our site on the right-hand side. It'll be a interactive garden with interpretive signage with bush food plants and medicines planted on it, as well as in the future getting plants from other areas of WA and planting them on the site to acknowledge that it wasn't just from the southwest region that children came. They were taken from all over the state. Our Green Army program last year, the first all-Indigenous Green Army program being run and mentored with about 9 to 10 students working on country. They mapped over 30 hectares of cotton bush, all hand-pulled, none sprayed. And we had all 9 participants start and all 9 finish, which was huge and massive for us. We wanted 100%, so we had 100% completion success rate with that program last year. Our future goals and projects for Roelands, incorporating youth in projects to improve a greater sense of community and building up the next generation of leaders and elders within the community. School holiday programs we're setting up, utilising planting days, seed collection days, taking seed that's already there on country and replanting it and revegetating, so we're not bringing in plants that are from a nursery or elsewhere, utilising what we have already there on that site. We recognise down at Roelands that the youth are our greatest resource, and getting them out there on country, working on country, and giving them a sense of pride and identity. It's one of the first things you run through at Roelands, is getting them to identify who they are as an individual, who their mob are, because from there you're able to identify who you are as an individual, and we can make that immediate connection with them. So thank you for listening to my speech. Cheers.